people that volunteer their advice into your life, if you ever want to get rid of them, this is a trick. Because people love to volunteer unsolicited advice into your life. They love to do it. It's like mamash, it's like one of the pleasures of the world is telling people what to do. The reason why is because you could vicariously live through other people's life just by telling them what to do. It's much easier, much more fun just to see what happens. It's like little lab rats. Tell them this, tell them this, tell them this, and you see, go! And then you see this one crashed. Ah, missed this one. The other one, crashed. Oh, this one fast. Third one made it. That's it, I won. What won? 2 people died under your advice. Yeah, but the third one won. Next time I'll do better. People think it's like the world is lab rats. So if you want to get rid of these scientists, friends of yours, and all of these family members that volunteer their advice, as soon as somebody starts giving you this advice that you didn't ask for, immediately, they ask you a question, respond with a question. Don't answer the question. They ask you, oh, but when do you think you're going to get married? When do you think you're going to get married? Wait, but I asked you. Yeah, but I just want to know when you're going to get married. Oh, but I'm married. Oh, when did you get married? 17, 18, 25, 30. Why did you get married? And continue asking them questions. After the third question, like I said, I got to go. I got to go. It was good talking to you. Good talking to you, cuz. And the conversation's over. Why? They don't want you to ask them any questions. Why? Because they're feeling the taste of their own poison. They're feeling the taste of their own poison. This is, if you're ever going to listen to any personal advice, for me, this is what you have to listen to. Why? Because people will love to give you their advice, and all of their advice has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. They're giving you advice of what they want, not what you want. They don't know what empathy is. If they did, they wouldn't volunteer their advice in the first place. So, you want to get rid of them? Very easy. Start asking them questions. I want to give you marriage advice? Ask them about their marriage. I want to give you money advice? Ask them about their money. Oh yeah, you really know. You know what you should do with your company? You know you should do this, you should do this, you should do that. Wait, what are you doing with your company? I don't have a company. So how do you know about companies? No, I just see on TV. Okay, I see on TV. Oh, thank you, bye. It's like asking a blind person for directions. Thank you, I appreciate the effort, but you're blind. You're not going to ask the homeless guy for financial advice. I'm sorry. With all due respect and thank you for your courage, I don't need advice from you. Generally, advice from people is poison. You have to get advice from people that you respect, and there's a reason to get advice from them. They're qualified. They don't have a bias is the first requirement. If they have a bias, already you have a problem. Doesn't mean that you can't take it. Just means that you have to take it into account. They have a bias. Like, for example, a lot of kids that contact me about marriage, getting shidduch and so on, the biggest issue is their parents never, ever like who they want to get married. I don't think there's ever a parent in history that ever liked the person that their daughter or son was going to marry unless they picked them. Why? No one's ever good enough for their honey. No one's ever good enough for their son. No one's ever good enough for their daughter. No one's ever good enough. She's too ugly. He's too fat. He's too rich. She's too poor. Everybody's deformed. But their son or daughter is perfect. It's like Adam HaRishon and Chava. So already you see there's a biased advice. Biased advice. In general, you have to ignore part of that advice from the parents. With all due respect to all of your parents and mine, and we're supposed to honor our parents, but there are certain parts of advice that they give that if it's biased, we cannot acknowledge it. I have a student that his father worked overtime to make sure his marriage doesn't happen. He hated his girlfriend, hated her, like almost like we are supposed to hate Amalek. Unbelievable. Why? After, I don't know, they were dating for a while. They weren't necessarily religious for a while. And for years he loved her. She was like a second daughter to him. But one day, she got into a disagreement with one of his other sons that disrespected her, and she told him to leave her alone. He didn't like the way she responded to his other son. From that moment on, he decided she's Amalek. 3 years, she's Chava, she's Sarah, she's Rivka, she's Rachel. All of a sudden, she told one of his sons, stop disrespecting me. She turned to Amalek. So now they decided at that point, we're going to get married. They're already together for a while, we're going to get married. No, I'm not coming. I'm going to do everything to stop it. I'm going to talk to all the rabbis not to marry you guys. Shem Hashem. Mamash craziness. Baruch Hashem, I tried to help as much as I can. And Baruch Hashem, they got married. They're happily married. Shtabach Shimon Ad, everything's okay. But you see, the stupidity of people sometimes because of their ego has no limits. Has no limits. So, we have to know, if we're going to take advice from certain people, we have to have like a list, a to-do list, a prerequisite list. Biased, okay, we'll still accept you if you're biased, but it has to be under control. Experience, you don't have that much, okay, but we'll have to take that into consideration. A lot of experience, we'll have to take that into consideration. Bad experience, we'll have to take that into consideration. Everything, you have to decide, who are you taking advice from is even more important sometimes than the advice. So it's important for us to take this stuff because people love to give advice. People get paid millions of dollars to give advice. But that's because the people that give advice are not accountable. Meaning they're going to tell you, go run really fast, do all these things. And if you fail, you come back to them with the tail between your legs. Like, listen, I listened to you and it failed. Like, you shouldn't have listened to me. What do you mean? I just put my whole life on the line for you. You listen to your advice. Yeah, listen, there's other people. Like, they're not going to hold it. They're not going to accountable for it. But if it works, God forbid, it's a bigger kaparat avonot. Why? They're going to never let you off the hook. Tell you, listen, remember, I told you and it worked. Yeah, you told me 900 things. One thing worked. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. You were right once out of 900 times. Yeah, but maybe this is the second time. You should listen to everything else he ever says, like Moshe Rabbeinu. So, you have to pick carefully.